It's so dark, it's so dark. You have to remember to take the lens cap off.
Hey, welcome to Viñales. This is the tobacco center of Cuba. It's a great place, a lot different than Havana. We're not looking at old cars here. We're looking at some terrific people, some friends of mine. They are great characters. We're gonna make some fantastic portraits of them. We're gonna see the environment. Vámonos.
Salud.
Hi, I'm Ira Block, National Geographic photographer and Sony Artisan. We're here in Viñales today to photograph some people I know from previous trips. They're terrific characters. This is going to be a lot different than what we did in Havana. This is more about local people in the countryside and the scenery around this area. It's going to be a lot of fun. Viñales is the center of Cuban tobacco farming. It's been this way for a century or so. So a lot of these people we're going to meet are in agriculture and they're growing tobacco. I already know a lot of the people here. I've photographed them before, I've met them, and this is really simple. They're going to embrace me. They're going to see me again. It's not breaking the ice. This is a different type of photography. This is working with people you know and trying to take the photographs to the next step. My many years of working as a National Geographic photographer has helped me develop a way of telling stories, and I still use that now. Anywhere I go, it's in the back of my head of how I would do this for the magazine, how I approach people, and then how I put the story together. And it's a lot of work. It takes time. You just don't go in and show up. It's planning and it's being patient and looking for things like the right light, the right background. I'll carry a couple of bodies, a wide lens and a longer lens. I'll do some straight-on portraits where I'm gonna knock the background out of focus using shallow depth of field. And then I'll also do some environmental portraits with a shorter lens where I get close to the people and then let this spread of the wide-angle lens show you their environment. Early this morning, before the sun rose, we were going to head to the reservoir to photograph a farmer washing off his horse. Now, I've been to this reservoir before, and I know that there are some local men that are working fields on the other side of the reservoir, and they jump in these boats and paddle across. So I knew these guys were going to show up. So while I was getting ready to photograph the guy and his horse, I was keeping an eye out for the other group that were going to go in the boats.
With the flashlight on the water there. Wow. You know, you just got to keep trying and shoot, even when the light is so low.
In the past, these guys have always shown up just around sunrise, but this morning it was dark and a little foggy, and these guys showed up really early, and the guys had flashlights that they're working with on the boat, and there was some light starting to show up in the background. So it ended up making some really interesting images.
Hey, 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 yes. All right. Wow, this is fun. You know, something will come out, something might not, but you keep trying. Wow, but just keep shooting. I'm at 12,800. Wow. One thing I'm being careful of is if I get too high, the horse's legs don't silhouette out enough. So if I get lower, they're against the water. We met up with the farmer and his horse, and he took the horse into the water to wash it off. And as an added bonus, he was smoking a cigar, which doing a silhouette was perfect. 135-1.8. I love that lens. The warm light around his hands. Just little elements, every little element adds to the photo, gives you a little something more. I try to build the photos with all these different elements, just trying to make it better, tell more of a story. The sky stays a little darker, but there's still some detail in his face, and that's because of the incredible dynamic range of these cameras. 15 stops of dynamic range. Yeah. Mira aquí.
Mira aquí.
Mira aquí. Try the eye autofocus here. Yes. Looking good, yeah, really. This is the moment, man. Look at that ray of light coming through there. This is great. So what I'm trying to do is use this 135 and knock out the background. It's an interesting look. Yeah, this is nice. It throws the background totally out, which is unusual in bright sunlight. And I love the color of the shirt. From the fishermen, we went back to the houses we were staying in, had a quick breakfast, and then headed out to see one of the best characters here, my friend Benito. He's a tobacco farmer, but he's a larger-than-life character. And I met him, I think, about 8-9 months ago, and he and I just bonded immediately. So, of course, at 10 o'clock in the morning, he sees me, and the first thing we do is start doing some shots of rum, which not my normal morning routine, but you know, when in Rome, do as the Romans do. But if I drink enough rum, my Spanish will be better. This is where they dry the tobacco. Pretty amazing structure.
This is for cigarette. This is for cigar.
In the past, I hadn't been there after our harvest, and it was fantastic. Tobacco leaves hanging in the shed, and the way the light was hitting them gave me another shot to use or think about using when I photographed him. It's pretty dark in here, so I'm going to switch to the 135 for the close-up and my 24-1.4 for the more environmental. So when he lights up, there you go, and then you get the nice glow. You're looking older than last time. So am I, right? We're both looking older. All right, so now I want to do a wide shot of just you with all the tobacco hanging. I switched to a wider lens, my 24-1.4. I like shooting my portraits horizontal because I like coming in, it's more cinematic. And when you come in tight horizontally, usually you're more drawn into the eyes. You look very young in here. Your eyes sparkle like a young man. So that guy's Luis. We're gonna go check him out. I've been here before with him. He's kind of an interesting fellow. Because working here, I'm working with people I know already, and they'll give me time. I'm not rushed. I'm working a little bit more with prime lenses. The 24-1.4, the new 50-1.4 Sony G Master, which I hadn't worked with before, which is a terrific lens. My 135-1.8, whereas in Havana, I was working a lot more with zooms because these are people I didn't know as well. I had to shoot and shoot quickly and eventually just get out of there. So the zooms made it easier to change lengths and not have to switch lenses. So my friend here is 105 years old and is 106 now? I missed a birthday. And his son is now 81, a youngster. I could shoot at a slow shutter speed because at 106 years old, no one's moving too fast. Sometimes you can't control the light or the situation. And instead of bringing big lights and going through all that setup, just carrying a nice small portable reflector does the job. So we're gonna give it a shot. Head up a little bit, yeah. The sun's a little high, it's a little harsh, so we're backlighting her, and we've got a little fill light in to soften her beautiful face. I'm on the ladder because I want to get the garden in the background, so I'm above a bit, looking down on it. And it's also very flattering, you know, to have her look up at me. When I do my photos of people like this, I want it to look more editorial than commercial looking. I don't want to overproduce it. I don't want to bring in lights and stands, and I want the people to look really natural. I don't want them to be too posed or restricted by, I'm putting a light here, I'm putting a light there. I want to keep a natural look to it. Clara, who makes the special coffee the old-fashioned way. So we went up to her house. She's smoking a cigar while she's doing all this, which is always in addition to the photo.
The wood, the authentic look of this kitchen is just incredible.
Oh, it's good. Not only did I photograph her, but her husband is quite an elegant looking guy. And I did some shots of him, and with him, I just saw this nice blue background.
Ah, perfecto. Su esposo es muy guapo, yeah? He's very handsome. But when I looked at this situation, I said that blue is a beautiful color, and I just wanted to go very soft. So that's why I picked the 135 1/8 G Master. And I'm not shooting at 1/8 because your depth of field is so limited. With the cigar, I'd just be like one eye in focus. So I'm shooting at 2/8, and it still knocks my background out and gives me this nice, soft look. And he's just got a great face. Look at him. Mira a la derecha, sí. A lot of the technology has made my life a lot easier. I'll show him a picture off the back of the camera, something that I couldn't do years ago when I was shooting film. Things like eye autofocus, incredible. It's just been a game changer, the high ISO ability of these cameras, so I could work in conditions that years ago with our first digital cameras, and certainly with my film cameras, I could never take a picture in a place. I was limited to ISO 200, 400. Now I'm so comfortable shooting 3200, 6400, which opens up a new world of telling stories with people, because I could see different parts of their environment that I could never get to before. Viñales is one of my favorite places to shoot here in Cuba. The people here are just terrific, as you've seen. They're great characters. They're warm, hard-working people. It's a pleasure to be with them. I think they're real. They have real emotions towards me. They have real emotions towards what they're doing. And I really like coming here, and I can't wait to come back again. Well, I'm very sad. I'm going to be leaving my favorite place, Viñales, where I've seen a lot of my good friends. We've done photographs of some terrific people. It's been a fantastic time, but everything good must end. And next video, we're going to be talking about using scenics and details to help round out your photographic story. So I'll see you there.